Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. In this world, there is a very rare opportunity arises that the teacher of gods and humans come in this world. He born in this world as a bodhisattva. Then he tried, he renounced all the things, the worldly life, and then he wanted, or his quest for enlightenment begins. And after searching for everywhere, then under the Bodhi tree, he attained enlightenment. This is for all the Buddhas. Every Buddha does the same thing. When he renounced it, he spent a couple of moments or for long times for some Buddha for searching for enlightenment. And this. But our Supreme Buddha, for him it take a longer time than usual, or longer time for compared to other Buddhas. When he renounced his home, when he became the Parivrajaka as a monk, and then he wandered to all the different regions, that which is the best teacher where he can learn the enlightenment. And on that time, there were a couple of very knowledgeable and well praised by others teachers were there. So he thought that if this teacher if anyone can teach me the enlightenment, this teacher will be. So he went to them, and what the knowledge they were teaching, he understands it in very short time of period. And then he asked, the Bodhisattva asked him, is there more? And they said, no, this is the only certain point that we can take you. And what we know, you know everything. So now you can also teach this thing to others. But Bodhisattva's intention was entirely different. He wanted the elixir. He wanted enlightenment. He wanted the fruits of Nibbana. And he thought, this is not the search that I was looking for. So I must continue my journey going further. So what the Bodhisattva did? On that time, whatever the thing was in this country, that this is the way that enlightenment can come to you. It's called Atta Kilamatanu Yoga. Giving hardship to your body, suffering a lot to attain the enlightenment. That is, even today also you can see that there are so many people, so many sadhus, they have that tendency to, if you give the punishment to your body, then your sins will be washed. And then all the merit will be there, so you can attain the liberation. So Bodhisattva decided to let me try that also. And for that, in that practice also, he went extreme of that. All the hardship were practicing on that time in this country. Bodhisattva tried everything. And what he got from there? What he attained? Nothing. Only the very weak body and the mind, which where nothing, nowhere his mind was taking. Something that stage to come to him. But the merit, what the Supreme Buddha has, means the Bodhisattva had in his previous life, that was very helpful for him to continue his practice and find some different path to attain it. In the Buddha Gaya, there is a one place called Durgeshwari or Dungeshwari, where he spent a very practicing the hardship. And there is a close by the river runs. So when the Bodhisattva was very weak, he fell into the river or close to the river, could not stand up properly. That much he has suffered his body. Then he understands that this is not the path to attain enlightenment. If this body is not healthy, so how I can concentrate my mind into the enlightenment path? So, and there was a couple of signs also shown by heavenly beings and by the common people. You know the very well good example of that. There is the veena. You know that there is a musical instrument that has the strings, similar for the guitar, but not guitar. It has a huge veena, and he heard that if you straighten too hard this string, then it will break. If you loosen it, it will not make music. Then you should tie this string up to certain point that it can give the melodious voice. So this simile he compare with his life, his body. That what I am doing, I'm making my string, the life of string or this body string, making very tight, and I'm punishing myself. Then there is a chance that I will break this body. And the purpose I renunciate this world and became the homeless person, became the monk, that purpose will not be complete. Then he thought that I spend the whole life as a prince life with very comfort. That is also not the path. So let me come to the middle thing. Let me stay as a monkhood and take as much as required to sustain this body. And then he started the different path. So slowly, he strengthened out his body. And when the time comes, then Sujata, the name Sujata, one of the merchant's daughters, Sujata, she has made the promise to the one tree that if she get her wish fulfilled, then she will offer the milk rice to that tree. And fortunately, on that day, the Bodhisattva was sitting there. She thought that this is the tree God, let me offer. And she prepared the beautiful, delicious milk rice. And she went to this Bodhisattva and offered this milk rice with a golden bowl. That time, what the Bodhisattva did, he made this 49 grass of this milk rice and he ate. After that, he went to the river, he made the promise and did that one, they throw the bowl in the water and they said, if I'm going to become the enlightenment, then this bowl must travel against the flow. And that happened. Then he went to the Bodhi tree, close to that river. And on that time, there was one Brahmin, Sotya. He offered some grass to him so he can sit down on that. So Bodhisattva took that grass and went under the Bodhi tree, sit down there, and that became the Vajrasana. He made the promise that all this blood may dry up, and all the skin may touch or completely fall from the body. I'm not going to raise from this moment. I'm not going to raise or rise from this seat until I attain enlightenment. So that was the very strong determination he had on that time. Then what to do after sitting under the Bodhi tree? He has tried several techniques, but none worked for him before. So he thought in earlier time in childhood, what the meditation he did, the breathing meditation, I shall continue with this. And he sat down, closed his eyes, and practiced the breathing meditation. And slowly, he developed this meditation path. And with the time, he understands what is the concentration. Then he practiced the path continuously to attain enlightenment. And in that, under the Bodhi tree, when the Mara came, he defeated the Mara. You know the entire story how he defeated the Mara. So we are not going to discuss that. It's a fascinating story that there are several ways to explain this one. When he attained enlightenment, Supreme Buddha attained enlightenment, after attaining, when the Mara was gone, when the deity who flowed the river there to defeat them, everyone was gone. And Supreme Buddha was understand. He became the enlightenment after that moment, attaining all the jnanas. And he was sitting under the Bodhi tree, just enjoying the enlightenment. So the first week, Buddha spent the 7 weeks close by this Bodhi tree. So first week, he was sit down under the Bodhi tree. The Bodhi tree which provided the protection him from all the outside things, and who was constantly with the Supreme Buddha when he was defeating the Mara. So he enjoys that enlightenment. The entire first week, he was sitting there and just enjoying that I have attained this enlightenment, the happiness of that. Like something you do means in your life also, when you do something good or when you got any happy moment, what you do? You leave everything and you enjoy that certain small points of minute. You forget about everything else and you become happy of that particular memory. So the Supreme Buddha has attained the enlightenment. He has realized the whole world. He has realized everything. So that one point, that one enjoyment he was experiencing in that moment. So entire week he sat down under the Bodhi tree, feeling happy. What happened after that? After 1 week he spent under the Bodhi tree, then his rise up from his asana. His entire 1 week he was sitting there, not taking any food, nothing. When the Sujata offered him the milk rice, that was his last meal before he attained enlightenment. And it continues for 7 weeks. That much strength he got from that milk rice. So first week he sat down under the Bodhi tree. Second week, he respected the Bodhi tree. What he did, he rises from his Bodhi tree and sit down in front of Bodhi tree, looking toward Bodhi tree. There in the Buddha Gaya, there are several places. You will see that there is a Bodhi tree in one side, and side of that there is called Animisa Chaitya. Animis. So Supreme Buddha went there. He was looking toward Bodhi tree, and without closing his eyes or without closing his eyelids, he was constantly looking at Bodhi tree. And what was he doing? He was paying or respecting, showing reverence to the Bodhi tree. That was the first incidence you will find that someone has worshipped the Bodhi tree. Or because the worshipping Bodhi trees began with the Buddha. So Supreme Buddha paid respect to the Bodhi tree for 1 week without closing his eyes, constantly looking at. And that's why it's called Animisa Chaitya. Animisa. Without closing his eyelid, he was looking at that constantly. See, if we want to see something, we can maximum stretch our eyes closed for or 1 minute or 2 minute maximum that, no? And then we have to close our eyelids time to time. But Supreme Buddha did that for 7 weeks to show reverence to that. It's a beautiful thing. All the things the Bodhi tree provided him when the Mara was there, he showed respect for that. Because when the Supreme Buddha was under the Bodhi tree, on that time, several heavenly beings were thinking, that, okay, now the Bodhisattva is going to become a Buddha. But as soon as the Mara's army arrived, everyone left. Everyone fled away. Even the trees surrounded of that Bodhi tree, close to the trees, those are also destroyed, everything. Only where the Buddha was sitting, that particular tree was stayed there. And that's why this Bodhi tree is a symbol of Supreme Buddha. And Supreme Buddha show reverence. You will find in several suttas, and you will find in several stories about how the Supreme Buddha has praised about Bodhi tree. You know, when one day the people came to the Supreme Buddha and asked Supreme Buddha, Bhante, that you were staying in Jetavana, and all the time, then when you are not here, we wanted to visit the Supreme Buddha, but we go back without worshipping. So, what is the proper way to worship Supreme Buddha if Supreme Buddha is not present here? And Supreme Buddha explained, plant the Bodhi tree here. And that reverence to showing the Bodhi tree, it will be reverence to me. So the Anandavante planted the one branch of Bodhi tree in the Jetavana. That tree is still standing as it is. So that was the first way the Supreme Buddha explained. The Bodhi tree is similar for me. Tathagatas the Dhamma Kaya. It was the name the Supreme Buddha gave to the Bodhi tree. You know. So whole week he spent to show reverence to this Bodhi tree. Then what happened? After the praying worship or reverence to this Bodhi tree, Supreme Buddha, after 1 week passed, he rose up from his asana. And when he was standing, on that time, all the heavenly being was thinking that Supreme Buddha has attained the enlightenment. Okay? But we think, deities, they are always in conflict sometimes, wherever the heavy things, because when the Supreme Buddha was he was destroying his body by doing the hardship for him. That time the heavenly beings were thinking, okay, this is the moment that Supreme Buddha will attain enlightenment. Or some of the deities were thinking, yes, he is. But now, when he attained the enlightenment, some of the deities was thinking, no, he haven't attained the enlightenment yet. Maybe there is certain things he has not realized. So that thought was in their mind. What happened? Supreme Buddha saw that thought from his mind, and he started to do the walking meditation. So that was called the Chankamana. Chankraman, it means walking meditation. So only 19 steps he took it. And how he take it? He built the bridge of gold in the air, and he was walking the 19 steps and coming back from there. So the every steps represent his enlightenment or attaining of knowledge. And 19th step was that there is no world that he can born again. Closing of life, that this is the thing, that this is the last birth. The promise I made it when I was a baby, when I born in this world as a Bodhisattva, that this is my ayamantima jati nathidani punabhavati. This is my last birth, and I'm not looking or not seeing another birth from here. That was the mentioning in this 19th step the Supreme Buddha did. So the whole week, entire week, he spent by going 19 steps forward and coming back. That was symbol. That was the last message for the gods, that he is completely enlightenment now, that there is no doubt in anyone else. Because when you attain the fruit of enlightenment, you know very well. You understand that, yes, this is the fruit I have understand and I realized. But for another person who are unable to see your mind, cannot understand you, for them it is little bit difficult to understand. So Supreme Buddha mentioned by showing symbol. So third week he spent by doing walking meditation. That is called Chankama. You can see still in the Mahabodhi Vihara in the Buddha Gaya, there is a pathway, and 19 flowers is mentioned in the upper little bit making on the stage. 19 flowers are there. It represents that Supreme Buddha was walking in this path. It's beautiful. If you have opportunity to visit this site, spend minimum 5 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes you should spend to see that what the steps Supreme Buddha took. Sit down under the Bodhi tree for time being that yes, the Buddha was here. He sat down in this under this tree. Then rise up and go for the Animisa Chaitya. And from there, look at the Bodhi tree. You will feel that yes, that marvelous peace, the beautiful enlightenment of the Supreme Buddha God, that peace you will feel in the same way. That's why Supreme Buddha explained in many times. If someone go and visit the place where the Supreme Buddha has attained the enlightenment, that place becomes helpful for the person to strive for enlightenment. That place takes you to another path to walk on the spiritual path. So you will feel that. If you have before, then remember all the times that this were the steps that Supreme Buddha has taken. After the third week, spent entirely, completely walking in there, Supreme Buddha did, he went to the Ratanagar. What he did, he sit down there and he sit down and make the entire room by the what you call gems. And inside that room, he sit down and thought about the Patthana. Patthana is the part what called Abhidhamma. So the Matrika is there, all the things that how this world is connected, one by one, one by one, one by one. What is the reason for this particular thing? What is the cause for these things? In that Patthana. So from the beginning to the end to the beginning, he was thinking about this. So entire world he conquered in that particular moment. If you got the chance to study the Patthana, not in the deep way, it will be a little bit hard to understand, but certain points of to just knowing the words and think about how the karma work, how this world works. If you get the chance to understand Patthana, you will be fortunate to have that. So Supreme Buddha was thinking about the Patthana. And when he was thinking about the Patthana, by himself, he was becoming happy that, oh, the marvelous realization I have. How beautiful it is this world works. How beautiful it is this karma works. And on that time, as his happiness was growing more and more, the rays from his body was coming out. There is a Buddhist flag. There is a 5 colors in there. Yes. So those kind of rays is coming from his body, one by one, one by one, one by one. And whole place of this Ratanagar, everywhere, it was spread. That Chaitya called, that place called the Ratanagar, where the Supreme Buddha studied or mastered about Abhidhamma, the Patthana, Hetu Pachaya, Aramana Pachaya, Adhipati Pachaya, something in that 36 stages are there to study, or more than that. So one by one he was thinking. That was the beautiful place to see. If you get the chance to study about the Patthana, you will be fascinated that how marvelous this Dhamma is, how beautifully the karma can be explained. And sometimes it is hard to understand that too. So it will be good addition for you to study the Patthana. So the 4th week, he was thinking under the Ratanagar Chaitya. For whole week he spent there thinking of Patthana. Then he stand up, he rise up from there, and he went to the Ajapal. There is one of the banyan tree. Now this tree is not there anymore, but there is a one stone. The stone pillar is there, which represent the tree was here. That was the banyan tree. So this tree was there. He sit down under there. What the Mara was defeated, when he went back to his home, that time he was very sad that in the long, long time later, someone has escaped from my control, or in his whip, you can say that too. So the Supreme Buddha has escaped from there. That sadness had the Mara. So when he was very sad in his palace, that time his three daughters came to him and asked, Father, what happened to you? Why you are looking so sad? You are a king of this whole world. So the Mara explained, yes, I was a king of this world, but now someone has escaped from me. And there his three daughters were very shocked. What? We have never heard something like this. This thing has never happened. So he explains that there is a Buddha cow. This is the only being who can escape without anyone's help. And he escaped. So these three daughters, they said, is he a man? Is he a human being? And they said, yes. He said, yes, there are. Then, Father, leave it to us. We are powerful enough to capture anyone's attention. We will go and defeat him and bring to you. Wait here. So when the Supreme Buddha was sitting under the Ajapal tree, the banyan tree, on that time, these three daughters, the Tanha, Rati, and Raga, they came to the Supreme Buddha. And what they did? They tried to persuade him. They showed all the things what any man will want in this world. They tried to tempt him. Everything they did to take his attention. But Supreme Buddha was enlightened. There was no chance that they can capture his attention. Whole week they spent to persuade him. Whole week, they tried to destroy his concentration. They sing beautiful voice with a beautiful voice. They dance beautiful way. They shown the beautiful sceneries in front of him. Any simple point, if he means it mentioned in this literature, if that the common person will be there, if it is not the Supreme Buddha, the show that these three daughters put on front of the Supreme Buddha, if there is a common person, even the one part of that, if someone has seen that thing, that person would have died immediately. Why? Because that much attraction, our heart stops when what it called, something captures beyond, we hold our breath in that way. Something magnificent show was there. If someone was the spoiled mind, like us, who are still bound to this world, if someone was there to see that view, there is no chance that we will become the mad person, we will die immediately with that shock and that happens and joy. But Supreme Buddha was enlightened. Nothing can capture his mind, nothing can hold him. He is not bound to anything else in this world. And with that power, these three daughters tried to persuade him in different ways. And nothing works on the Buddha. Nothing. That's the most beautiful thing. So you see, today, what we do, our teacher is beautiful thing. When we observe the precepts that I will abstain from sexual misconduct, abstain from it. And what happened? Physically, we may control ourselves, but what about the mind? Every time when we see something beautiful, Immediately our mind goes there. Doesn't matter if we are married or not. We may be faithful to our partner, definitely. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying even though the thoughts of that comes in our mind. So such a mind we have, you know. But the enlightened one, Supreme Buddha, no. He was liberated. There is no thoughts of these things arise in his mind. Whole week they have tried. Here, if someone just smile to us, immediately our mind goes with them. And these three beautiful daughters was showing that their magic in front of Buddha, and nothing was happening. After the 7 days, they thought this person is really gone beyond all this world. Nothing can happen. No one can bring him. No one can hold him here. And defeating by him, these three daughters went back to his father, and they'd say that, Father, you was correct. Really, this person has gone beyond this world, gone beyond any boundaries, any what it calls shackles in this world. He is completely liberated. See, still the effect of that we can see. Anyone who start to do the meditation, anyone who try to practice, one of these women, one of this tanha, rati or raga, one of them, only slight of that comes to our mind, and what will happen? Immediately we leave the meditation and we stop the practice. Something like that. So, 5th week he spent under the Ajapala tree, the banyan tree, and he defeated, or he showed, he proved that no sensual pleasure can capture his mind. There is one beautiful thing is mentioned, that what is the difference between the Supreme Buddha's eating the food or seeing this world, and for the common people like us. So what we do when we enjoy this, we are the rasa raga samvedi. For our nature to this world is rasa raga samvedi. So when we enjoy this world, we develop the desire for it. With this desire, we enjoy this world. But the Buddha, he is only rasa samvedi. He just tastes the world. Means like does not have any intention behind that. He does not have any desire for it. He just see what it is. Like when we say that if we eat something delicious, if it is sweet, and how we feel that we want to taste it again, or the sweetness in it, we become addicted for it. But Supreme Buddha, he just tastes the sweetness. There is no difference of taste, but only behind it what it has there. So such a person, the Supreme Buddha became. So 7 weeks he was doing. No other thoughts in his mind to come in this mind. Nothing was there. See, 7 weeks he was there, and no other thoughts, rather than enjoying the enlightenment were there. Only that he was not thinking about this world, not thinking about preaching or anything. He was just enjoying in the happiness of enlightenment. So after the 5th week, he went to the Muchilinder tree. There was a tree called Muchilinder. He sat down on the tree, and huge rain cloud comes and drops the water on him. 7 days of rain was falling on that time. That time, there was one great king, the Naga king. He came taking the form of huge giant snake, and he covered. He made the 7 rounds, covered his body, and put his head on the head of the Supreme Buddha. Protect him from the cold, protect him from the rain, and all the things which come the rain brings. So 7 days rain was there, and these 7 days this snake was protecting the Buddha's body. That was also beautiful. Even in that moment, what was Supreme Buddha was doing? He was not worried about rain, nothing. nothing. He was just enjoying the happiness of enlightenment. Muchalinda. So now that there is a one beautiful place that in Muchalinda there is a small pond, it looks, and the statue is in there in between, and it shows that it's circled the Buddha, and there is a snake's head in above the Buddha. You will see the several pictures of that also. Statues are also mentioning in that way. So the pond, I think so, it made the later days, but it happens. Rainfall for 7 days. May the water may gather there, but still it represents that the water was there and nothing was harming the Buddha. So the 6th week he spent there by enjoying the enlightenment. And what happened? 7th week, the last week of his realization, after he was sitting under the Rajayatana. There is a one place, the Rajayatana. So the tree was there. He sit down there, and after spending the 1 week of meditation there, the last day, the Tapassu and Balika, these two merchants, was traveling in that way. So they saw this Buddha was sitting under the Bodhi tree, and they thought that, okay, this is the Sraman, and it's beautiful. His face or everything is very serene, and let me see them. Let me worship this Supreme Buddha. So they went and they worshiped him. It was the last day, and then they offer him. They worship. They offer the food to him. This was the first time he has taken something from them, or he has eaten. In the entire, before he become enlightened, from that day up to this last week of 7 weeks, he has taken nothing. No natural work for him to. There was no going to washroom or nothing, no drinking anything, nothing. He was just enjoying the happiness. For us, it may be a little bit difficult to understand, but for the Buddha, it was the common thing. Even in that time also, there was certain meditations. And once you observe that meditation, 7 days, everyone will feel that you are dead. But you are not, something like that. So this 49 days, he has taken nothing. So they offer him the food, and Supreme Buddha take it from them. That was the first bowl they offer him to the Buddha. Then they went refuge to the Buddha and Dhamma. They become the first disciple of Supreme Buddha. Because on that time, there was no Sangha. Supreme Buddha hasn't taught the Dhamma yet. He just recently became the Buddha, and the Dhamma he had, that is the only true refuge. So this Tapassu and Balika are the first two people who went refuge to only 2 gems, no 3. These are the only people, first lay disciples of Supreme Buddha. What is the name of them? Tapassu and Balika. See? So after the offering him, they thought, we should have something of the Supreme Buddha to remember him. So they asked Bhante, we need something, or we would like to have something for the reminder of you. So the Buddha he put his some hands on his hair, and couple of hairs Supreme Buddha gave to this Tapassu and Bali. That is the first relic worship begins to do. First one, Supreme Buddha worshipped the Bodhi tree. Second one, he gave the bodily relics, like the hair. He gave it to someone so they can remember him. That's why in earlier time, before the statues were there, people worship the Bodhi tree as a representation of Buddha. People worship the shrines, the stupa, as a reminder of Buddha. In the Sanchi stupa, earlier time you will see on the gates and everywhere, or all the carvings before the statues, you will see there is no mentioning of Buddha statue. There is only Bodhi tree, or some pagodas are there to symbol of Buddha. So this Tapassu and Balika, what they did, they took this hair and they traveled their home country, Burma, the Swarna Bhumi, And they place this all the hairs in the stupa. What is the name of that stupa? Shadagon. The golden stupa? The golden pagoda? Yes, they place it there. And still in these days, it is there. Still. There are several stories about that this hair may go have somewhere else, but the history says that this is still there in that stupa. So, seventh week, Supreme Buddha enjoyed this enlightenment in that way. Isn't this beautiful? Yesterday, I was spent a couple of hour and more than that to just looking at this place, and it was really, really amazing. You feel the vibes of that. Still, how the Buddha is there. You can feel that the peace. There a lot of people comes, a lot of noise is there, but even that noise, you feel isolated. But several people worship meditation there, worships there, and all the positivity is there. So if you get the chance, spare for a couple of hours there, spend there, and enjoy that the beauty of this enlightenment, what the Supreme Buddha has. And see, if this small part of time, if you spend there and have this happiness, then how beautiful it will be when this happiness is constant one. When you attain the stages of enlightenment, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami. If we attain that, how beautiful it will be. So every time when you see the or listen the Dhamma or realize the stories or read the stories about that, try to make related with your life. That how these stories, how this Dhamma thought, or how this can directly affect your life. Because today we cannot find the Buddha here. Today we cannot see the enlightened monks. Today it is very hard. But the signs what the Dhamma shows to us, we can take the idea of enlightenment from that. And we can practice the path. And in the path, it is always shown the signs that this path, if you are going on the correct path, there are signs that, okay, this stage you are attaining. So try to relate your life with this. You will have the beautiful practice of Dhamma, beautiful meditation. So have that in your life. So 7 weeks Supreme Buddha spent there, and the first shrine, first Bodhi tree, Bodhi Vandana Supreme Buddha did, and second, he gives his hair relics to worshipping us. So these two things, when you go to the monasteries, like in our Toronto monastery also have the Bodhi tree, and Toronto monastery also have the relics. When next time when you see the Bodhi tree, imagine this is the Buddha. See, when you see the statues, then you feel that, okay, this is the Buddha. Because our worshipping Buddha is attached with the statues, So go a little bit beyond that. When you see the Bodhi tree, feel about, okay, this is the Supreme Buddha's body, Supreme Buddha's himself, When you see the shrines, the pagoda, go and worship. Even now in Winnipeg also, they are building the stupa, and in Toronto monastery we have already. In our Edmonton monastery, there is a stupa. These 3 monasteries does have the stupa. So you can go and worship there. And all of them has relics. Or it is also symbol of that. So when you have opportunity to go and visit the Buddha, see, pay homage, pay respect to the Bodhi tree. We may say that why to show the respect to the tree? Tree is just a tree. But the Supreme Buddha has shown the reverence to this tree. That's why it becomes worthy of worshipping. Have that, try to enjoy it. Then whenever you see the shrines, before worshipping the statue, go and worship the shrines where the relics of Supreme Buddha has kept. And then you can worship the statues. That will be okay. But not the statues. Seeing the symbols of Supreme Buddha. Understanding This is only a represent of Supreme Buddha to just show that this Buddha was like this. That's all. Because we are not the statue worshipper. No, we are worshipping to the qualities of Buddha. 7 weeks he spent by enjoying. After this 7th week, after this Tapasu and Balika went, left, on that time, Supreme Buddha thought that what the Dhamma I have understand, it is very hard to understand by people. If I try to preach, it will only give the burden to me. It will be only means it will be tired. It will be very tiresome act for me. So I should stop to preach. I will not preach to anyone else. That time, after when this thought comes to him, the Brahma Sahampati saw this thought by his mind in Supreme Buddha's mind, and he came to the Supreme Buddha and asked to Supreme Buddha, one day this world will finish, this world will destroy. Please, Bhante, for compassion for all the human race, for all the heavenly beings, Supreme Buddha must teach Dhamma. And while this Brahma Sampati was explaining, Supreme Buddha was also seeing in this world, yes, there are certain people who can attain the Dhamma, who can realize the Dhamma. It is up to us then which category we come in. See, everyone, this Dhamma is not for everyone. Everyone may understand, everyone can come into this Dhamma, but realization of this Dhamma, there are certain people, or very few people who can attain. So what is that? When the Supreme Buddha was sitting, he saw there is a water, pond was there, and the lotus flowers, the birds of the flowers was there. It was inside the water. It hasn't arisen yet. It was very small. So in that water, nothing was happening. So Buddha saw there are people who born in this mud and they are unable to understand anything else yet. This Dhamma, they may listen, they may see, but it will be hard for them to attain it. So the one category is that. Second category comes when the Supreme Buddha saw in that pond, there are some of the this flowers, buds were above the water or touching the surface of water, not entirely yet up, but touching the surface of water. Supreme Buddha saw that similarly in the common people. What? That there are people who will listen this Dhamma and they will understand that what is the difference to these two words, what is the good and what is the bad. They will understand. They can develop the path of Dhamma from there. That is the second category was there. And then Supreme Buddha saw that there were the flowers. They come above the water and bloom with the light of sun. So that similarly Supreme Buddha saw, yes, that there are certain people who will understand the liberation, who will realize that. So there's three kind of people in this world you can find. You have to decide which one you want to be, because this Dhamma is open to all. This Dhamma is a choice that you have. No one is going to enforce you. It's not that, okay, take this religion, neither we are going to kill you. It's not like that. It's not. It is a choice what you make. So it depends on you which category you want to be. The one who are under the tree, okay, just, I come to this Buddhism, see, nothing is here for me. I'm going to go in samsara. That is more beautiful for me to suffer in this world. That kind of category. Second one, that, okay, this is really related to me. I am suffering. So even in your whole life, this thought comes to your mind, yes, definitely. I am in suffering. And Buddha's path is the only thing can lead me to escape from it. If this only thing can attach to your thoughts of change, attach with your all the thinking, it means completely you will be understanding this what is happening. That one thing also, it is enough for you to walk on the path of Dhamma. That one thing, that will be very helpful for you. So try to become that kind of person. And one of you or some of you may have the more power than that. This, okay, this is the enlightenment Supreme Buddha taught us. Let me have the taste of it. Let me have the taste of it. And when you will go, see, you will see that, okay, this is the flower is blooming by the rays of sun. So the Supreme Buddha's Dhamma is something like that. Once it falls on something, all the things is erased from us. So that person we can be. The path is not dead yet. It may have passed 2,600 years, but the path is still clear. It is up to us which path we want to choose. Supreme Buddha spent 7 weeks under the Bodhi tree or in that premises to enjoy that enlightenment. And then he say that, let me teach this Dhamma. So this Dhamma, it is hard to see, but if someone attained, then the enjoyment is marvelous. Marvelous. See, so enjoy this Dhamma visibly. See by yourself that this Dhamma how will affect on your life. You know, have the fruit of this Dhamma one by one. See the 7 places. If you can go online and check it, those one by one places, and think about that these were the steps that Supreme Buddha has taken. It will boost your confidence on Dhamma. It will help you to strive for practicing path. You know, so have that. Okay, I think that's enough for me to explain today. So today was the Dhamma class was a little bit beyond our Dhamma talk, but I was thinking what I was enjoying in there, I will share with you. So the 7 weeks the Supreme Buddha spent, and I hope that you understand how he spent the 7 weeks, that enlightenment. And then he went from here to the Sarnath to preach the Dhamma. And that was the Dhammacakkappavattana. So we can learn that also in other classes. Okay, so this all the entire explanation be helpful for you to develop the confidence on Supreme Buddha, develop the confidence on Dhamma. You may by listening this, you may strive to work on the path of enlightenment. May you realize the 4 noble truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.